Hi, I'm Mark. This is Mark's Tech Vlogs on YouTube, and today I'm going to bring you a review of the iRig Pro Duo USB audio interface. Now, this product has actually been around since late 2015, but it's still a brilliant recording device, and IKMultimedia, who make it, still sell it and they haven't updated it. I've had one for around a year and I've used it for all of my home recording for my band Backroom Stereo. So this is my full review. Let's frame this review by starting off by just very quickly talking about price. If you go on the IKMultimedia website, it's around €240, but if you go on Amazon you can pick one up for about £150. If that's still a little bit too much, then you can find some really good second-hand deals out there. Now let's move on to the review itself and start off by talking about design. The iRig Pro Duo is designed to be portable, and so it's a pretty small, light device. It has rounded edges and it looks slick and modern. You probably haven't even noticed it on my desk in my videos. The top of the device has multicolour lights to show you things like gain, MIDI and phantom power, plus gain controls for each of the two channels. The left-hand side has left and right balanced outputs and a switch for turning the phantom power on or off. The rear has a MIDI input and output, and the connector port for connecting up to your computer or iOS device. The right-hand side has a headphone output and direct monitor switch. The bottom has a place to put some batteries. And finally, the front has two inputs that can take XLR or 1/4 inch jacks. All of this make for a huge amount packed into a pretty small device that weighs less than 200 grams. So let's keep talking about some of the things that are packed into it and talk a bit more about spec. I've already talked about the inputs, which actually make it a really versatile device, but let's talk about a few of the other things under the hood. You have a couple of choices for powering this device. You can power it via USB, or you can use two AA batteries if you're using it with a mobile device like an iPad and you don't want to drain power from that device. It comes with a USB cable, but also a cable to connect it via a lightning port. It also has built-in 48-volt phantom power, which is great if you want to use it with a microphone or a DI box that requires power. I could sit down and talk about some of the other specifications like frequency response and all that kind of stuff. However, with devices like this, performance is the key thing, and so I'm going to focus on that. If you want the full spec and all the geeky stuff, I've linked that below. So let's talk about actually using this device. As it's a USB audio device, you can plug and play really easily. This means that for me as a Mac user, I simply plugged it into my MacBook, opened up Logic Pro X and I was away. It also works as plug and play with iOS, which means if you're using your iPad or your iPhone, you don't actually have to have a specific app, although iRig do have some apps out there. This does mean, however, you could use it with something like GarageBand. When it comes to using this device, and these demos I'm going to show you will be in Logic, it's really easy. You simply add one or two new recording channels into your software and you select the input that corresponds to the channel on the iRig Pro Duo. This might be your guitar, or your piano, or your microphone. This does mean that you can simultaneously record both channels. For example, you could record vocals and a guitar for a live set, or a guitar line and a microphone on the guitar for recording something like acoustic guitar in the studio. Obviously, the quality of this recording will largely depend on the quality of your cables and your microphones, but I found that in using it there's no lag from the device when recording or during playback, and the recordings I get are crisp and clear with no crackles or pops. So here is a demo of some of my guitar recorded straight into the device without any effects. The lights on the device also light up when you're recording, which means you know if your instrument is peaking or not. In terms of listening back and the outputs, they all work exactly as you'd expect them to, and you get plenty of volume with the headphones. And having that volume control is really helpful to have, because it's much easier to reach than those on your computer when you're mixing. The only thing I haven't tested with this device is MIDI, simply because I plug my electric drum kit and keyboard straight into my computer via USB. However, when I'm recording these instruments, I do use the iRig headphone out. The great thing about this is that there's no lag when recording and using it as a monitor. Once you've recorded stuff with this device, you can use your audio software of choice, again for me that's Logic, to add any post effects and mix it all down nicely. So this is an example of a track I created using Logic Pro X and the iRig Pro Duo. The bass, electric and acoustic guitars and the vocals were all recorded using the device, and then drums and anything else you hear were all recorded by USB MIDI and not using the Duo.
It's all quite unadventurous, 'cause I'm not rock and roll. There's not a traffic cone inside in my room. There's not a road sign or a drunken tattoo. There's not a big house or a red cup in sight. I can tell you blow by blow what happened last night.
It's not a very good story, it's not very interesting, so I'm not going to bother. So, what's the verdict? If you're looking for a versatile, portable USB interface that produces good results, then I'd certainly recommend this. At this point in a review, I usually say some things I'd do to improve it, but if I'm honest, I don't think I'd do anything. What I will say is that it's certainly better with third-party software like Logic or GarageBand, rather than using the IKMultimedia apps. I hope you guys have found this video helpful. If you've got any questions, do stick them below and I will answer those. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I've also put a link to the device on Amazon below if you want to pick one up. It is an affiliate link, which means if you buy one via that link, it will help this channel out. Finally, if you've enjoyed the music, do check out my music project Backroom Stereo. I'm on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube and all of those places. And I'll see you guys again soon.